we are evaluating each expression, okay? And like I told you on the notes that you guys watched, the word evaluate, whenever you see the word evaluate in a math class, evaluate means to give me an answer that is a number. Okay, so evaluate means give an answer in numerical form. Okay, and that's a fancy way for saying I want an answer that's a number. So when you're done evaluating 19 through 24, your answer will not involve x's or y's. It'll just be a number. Okay, you guys? So, number 19. So what we're doing is, the problem says evaluate each expression for x is equal to -2, y is equal to 4, and z is equal to 2. So what this is saying is that every time you see an x, you're going to put a -2 in its place. That's called substitution. Every time you see a y, you're going to substitute a 4 in the place of any y, and in the place of any z, you're going to substitute a 2. Okay? And then you're going to evaluate it, and you're going to give me an actual answer that's going to be a number. Now, though, in some of the problems, actually every problem, you don't put the numbers, you don't substitute the numbers in the place of the letters first. What you want to do is you want to rewrite all problems first so that there's no negative exponents. Okay, so for instance, in number 19, before we evaluate, you want to rewrite 4x to the -1 power using the negative exponent rule. Okay, and so to do that, remember, the negative exponent rule tells you to take whatever is below the negative exponent, which in number 19 is x, and then you're going to move it to the bottom of a fraction. So to rewrite number 19, you would rewrite it like this. Okay? The 4 stays where it is, which would be the top of the fraction, the numerator, and then the x to the -1 gets moved to the bottom of the fraction, which is the denominator. Then what we do is, then we substitute -2 in the place of x. So this problem would become 4 divided by -2, and then you work it out. Okay? So, and that would be equal to -2. So in number 19, you guys should have got -2 for the final evaluating problem. Okay? You guys, does that make sense so far? Okay, so I'm just going to go through each one. Just watch how I do it. If you're not sure what I did, you could stop me and feel free to ask questions at any time. Okay, number 20, I have z to the -3rd power. Before I substitute the 2 in the place of z, I have to rewrite the problem so there's no negative exponents. So z to the -3rd rewritten would be 1 over z to the +3rd power. Okay, now once I do that, now I put the 2, which is what z is equal to, in the place of z, and this would become 1 over 2 to the 3rd power. Okay, you guys? Evaluating this, 2 to the 3rd power, that means 2 times 2 times 2. So your answer to number 20 should have been 1/8. Okay? All right, number 21. Since I have a negative exponent here, before I substitute the numbers in the place of the variables, I always want to rewrite the problem without negative exponents first. So when I rewrite number 21, I'm going to have a fraction. The 2, I don't have to do anything with. The x, I don't have to do anything with. The y, because the y has a -2 power attached to it, I need to put the y on the bottom of the fraction, but then the -2 power becomes a +2 power, And then the z I don't have to do anything with because it has a positive 2 power. So rewriting number 21, I get 2xz to the second over y to the second. Okay? Now, I substitute these numbers, negative 2 for x. So when I substitute, x is going to become a negative 2. Z becomes a positive 2. And y will become a positive 4. And notice that whenever I substitute numbers like 4 in the place of a variable like y, it's always a good habit to put the number inside parentheses. Okay, now I evaluate this. I work this out. Okay, I have to do exponents first. So 2 to the second power right here becomes 4. So when I evaluate this, my numerator will become 2 times negative 2 times 4 over 4 to the second power means 4 times 4, so that's 16. Okay, multiplying these top numbers out, 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. Negative 4 times positive 4 is negative 16. So I get negative 16 divided by positive 16. So number 21 should have turned out to be, that is going to be equal to negative 1. So number 21 was negative 1. Okay, number 22, I have no negative exponents, but I have a 0 exponent. All right, now you guys need to remember, what does a 0 exponent change that part to? Always 1. Okay, now the 0 exponent is only for the z. So if I were to rewrite this, the 6 stays a 6, the x to the third stays an x to the third, but the z to the 0 becomes a 1. Okay, so you guys, whenever you have a 0 exponent, you always want to change that to 1. Now I'm going to substitute in the place of x. I'm going to replace it with a negative 2. So when I do that, I'm going to get 6. X becomes negative 2 to the third power times 1. Okay, and now I work this problem out to evaluate. I have to do the exponent first. So this would mean negative 2 to the third power, which is negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2, which would be equal to negative 8. So this becomes 6 times negative 8 times positive 1. So my answer to number 22 would be negative 48. Okay? All right, number 23. I have negative x to the negative 2 power. Once again, you guys, negative exponents, you always have to rewrite it so you have positive exponents. So when I rewrite negative x to the negative 2 power, it would be rewritten as 1 over negative x to the positive 2 power. Okay? Now I substitute in the place of x, I'm going to substitute a negative 2. So substituting this in, I would get 1 over, I have a negative sign, x becomes negative 2, and then I have to the second power. Okay? And now I evaluate. So I work out the negative 2 to the second power first. So that means negative 2 times negative 2, that's positive 4. So I have a 1, I have a 4 on the denominator, but I have this negative sign here. So that's my answer to number 23. Should have been 1 over negative 4. Okay? Or if you wanted to just say, you could just say the answer was negative 1/4. All right, last one, negative y in parentheses. And then I have to the negative third power. You can't have negative powers, so you have to change it into a positive power. So number 24 would be rewritten like this. You have the negative y would stay in parentheses, but then the negative 3 power becomes a positive 3 power. So I get 1 over negative y in parentheses to the third power. Okay, now every time I see a y, I'm substituting a positive 4. So this would become 1 over, I have parentheses, I have a negative sign. Y becomes positive 4. and then I have to the third power. And I work this out. Negative 4 to the third power means negative 4 times negative 4 times negative 4. That would be 1 over negative 64. So there's your answers. Okay.